Hi, I'm Paul.
And I'm Tiffany.
To some, we could be called career wizards.
And to others, sometimes we seem like therapists. However, we definitely are not.
But for you, we are the co-hosts of the Career Boosters podcast.
Now, these four pillars are four pillars of problem solving. So, case competition is essentially fine-tuning your efforts of problem solving. You can be an entrepreneur, a banker, a marketer, a financial analyst. Problem solving is the number one skill that any of your employer or your partners are going to expect from you after an MBA.
All right, hello and welcome to the Career Boosters podcast, Season 3, Episode 4. So what do teamwork, problem solving, creativity, and analysis all have in common? Well, in life, we utilize most of those skills on a very daily basis, whether it's at work or with our families or in our personal lives. But in the context for today, we're going to talk about something called case competitions. In the class that we have with MBA students, they got to learn a little bit more about understanding cases or real world kind of business problems, understand what skills are necessary to analyze and solve these cases, all while working in a team to do so. Today, we have a student, Suraj Wadhwani, joining us, and he participated in multiple case competitions when he was in the MBA program. And he was excited to come back and join us and talk about these and what they kind of seem to be, this MBA or business school type of activity and how it relates to life and how work can relate to kind of personal lives, and they all always kind of intersect with each other. So Suraj, thanks so much for joining us. And the question that we ask most of our alumni that come on is, how has your MBA impacted your career journey?
Firstly, thank you, Paul, Tiffany, for having me on this podcast, and specifically regarding a topic that's so close to my heart. I think the highlight of my MBA journey has been multiple case comps that I've attended, honestly.
Cool.
Talking about how MBA has impacted my journey, I think it's given that slingshot momentum to kind of help me with certain tools, knowledge, which kind of I'm currently using in business and at various aspects of work. But most importantly, soft skills. In terms of how to connect with people, how to network with people. I still remember a guest in one of the networking sessions mentioned, just walk with a little swag and walk with confidence when you're networking. That stuck with me so far, and that kind of has helped me.
Walk with a little swag. I feel like we need to now add that to our networking slides, Paul. I don't think that's a bullet point we have on there. We clearly need to add it on. But there is, and we joke, there is a lot around that, right? The psychology of what does confidence look like? What cues do we give off that we're confident? I think there's a lot there, but I just appreciate the way that you said that.
Yeah.
Also, Suraj, can you believe that we just introduced you as alumni? Like, how is that sinking in? You graduated just a few months ago. You're now alumni. How's that feel?
Yeah, it's a difficult feeling, honestly. Well, the summer has been busy with multiple things that I'm doing, but I was talking to my friends the other day. It's like, do you remember, like, we were working and then we were doing these multiple assignments and we could squeeze all of it in, and here with just like few hours of work, we're dead tired. So yeah, it's an overwhelming feeling, honestly, to be called an alumni of UFA. But yeah, glad we got there and got done with the MBA.
It's life is a funny thing, and perception is a funny thing. But I appreciate that you are here as an alumni to talk about something that is, we think, really important and important to more people than people might realize. So that's kind of what we're here to myth bust. But let's just start off with, if you had to tell somebody what a case competition is who has no idea, not a business student, just regular Joe Blow, no clue what they are, what would you tell them?
So I would explain it to you the way I explained it to my dad. Okay, it's like Shark Tank or Dragon's Den. okay, where you don't have to pitch your own business. You're given a company, can be any industry, anything, and the toughest problem of that company. Then you're put in a group with strangers, friends, colleagues to solve it in like a few hours, total chaos, and then present the solution in front of executives that have at least 3x more years of experience in front of you. Okay. Now, it does sound overwhelming, but trust me, it's not. Okay? Because case competitions are never about correct solution. It's about how you get there and what's the process of you getting to the final solution. So, yeah, I think this is how I would explain it to somebody who has no business knowledge. Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. And I think that, it is when we think about these, graduate level, sometimes, undergrad, high level undergrad, and graduate level case competitions, it can seem a little overwhelming to students. And, oh my gosh, I have to get up and speak about some of my recommendations and things like that. But I loved how you talked about it being a journey, and about it being kind of this ability to kind of work through trying to solve a problem with teammates and in a short amount of time. What do you think is the biggest myth or assumption people have about case competitions?
Okay. So, people think that case competition is only for the people who give advice to other companies on how to run their companies, aka consultants. A case competition is definitely not just for consultants. I'll tell you why. It's primarily based on 4 core pillars. The crux of case competition is based on 4 pillars. Okay. First, obviously, is analysis of your problem, possible outcomes / solutions or options. Fourth, how are you going to implement one of your options? And third, how are you going to implement? And fourth, what's the impact? Now, these 4 pillars are 4 pillars of problem solving. So, case competition is essentially fine-tuning your efforts of problem solving. You can be an entrepreneur, a banker, a marketer, a financial analyst. Problem solving is the number one skill that any of your employer or your partners are going to expect from you after an MBA. And case competition kind of helps you fine tune this. Well, yes, it can be over a 1-week format, 3-hour format, 10 minutes format, or like a 2-minute conversation with a colleague or a friend. This is the structure that I kind of now follow. I mean, there are multiple peoples and coaches that keep switching around things, but it's essentially these 4 things that kind of are important for case competition and which makes it diverse and not just specific to consultants.
Like, who doesn't need to get better at problem solving? Truly, I can't think of a type of professional or person that couldn't use to hone the skills, kind of the subset skills under problem solving, which I think is one of the biggest messages that I hope anybody takes from this is just a supercharged way to work on some of those skills in a short amount of time. Your very first one, let's take you back because you've done many. If you go all the way back to the very beginning, what surprised you out of experiencing a case comp?
So, firstly, I want to bring this to everyone's notice that when I first joined the MBA and the first time, I think MBA was presenting that they have the fall internal case competition, I had no idea what those 2 words together mean. Um, I kind of leaned towards Jasleen because she was sitting on the same table, and I was like, Jasleen, what is this? So she's like, it's nothing. It's just a simulation of something that we used to do every day back in India. I'm like, sure, okay. And then again, I still didn't know what that would mean or what was expected out of us. So yeah, it was Ibrahim, me, and Ritesh who formed a team, and we're like, let's just do it for an experience, right? What's the harm? What's gonna happen? Nobody's gonna shoot us in the head if we perform bad. Let's do it. Let's give it a try. And I think we did it. Surprising for me was yes, it was a simulation of a business scenario, and the thing that stood out for me was that the judges were really sweet. They were open to new ideas. it was more of a collaborative effort rather than just us pushing, which usually happens in corporate. And after we got out of the case competition, I told these two, I was like, guys, we were either too good or we were so bad that the judges didn't want to spend any efforts in grilling us. So I don't know what's happening. So I mean, we came second in that competition, so I guess we were somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I think people who are scared of judges grilling you or anything, I think just take that away, because it's more of a collaborative effort. They're there to support you. They're there to be your cheerleader and help you grow with that.
That's so great. And when we think about opportunities to stretch out of our comfort zone, and the ability to just lean into something that's unique and different, and what a wonderful opportunity for you to just say, let's go and try it. And the thing that I always find funny when we talk about MBA students, most MBA students I know or I have come across, they're all very competitive. So they want to go in and they want to try their best. They're kind of comparing themselves to other teams. But I loved how you talked about the judges just being really kind and friendly, and that they were willing to kind of just hear unique and new ideas. And when I think about even the opening that I had for today, it's like the willingness to provide new ideas sometimes in the world of work, or when we're doing things, sometimes people are really afraid to do some of those things, and willing to kind of step out of their comfort zone to provide an idea that's unique or that's different. So I think it's wonderful that you guys took that chance. After the first one, so you were very successful in the first one, second place. What made you keep saying yes to that experience over and over and over again?
I think a short answer to that is the adrenaline rush. Uh, I mean, those 3 hours are total craziness. We're like fighting, we're arguing, trying to get the best solution. Yeah, people can say everything, networking. Yeah, I mean, those are, yes, for sure, the byproducts. But for me, the core was the adrenaline rush. That's what kept me going to the case competitions again.
Suraj, I've had the pleasure of getting to know you over your 2 years here, and you used a word before adrenaline rush that me that kind of partners well with here for you is chaos. Yeah, I just know you to be somebody who thrives in the unknown, in the sure, why not? What's the worst what could happen? Let's get in some chaos and, experience an adrenaline rush. And while I know not everyone may lean into that as much as you, I actually think almost every single human could lean more into getting more comfortable with chaos, looking for the unknown, and just going, what's the worst that could happen? Like how much we limit ourselves when that is what we steer away from, rather than what you do, and it's like steer towards it, which I find really funny. Is that you already talked about problem solving, so check. That is a big thing that comes from this. What other skill sets come from case comps that transfer well beyond just consulting?
I think I have two skill sets that kind of have transferred over, and it kind of helped me polish those things. The first one is storytelling. I do have a specific story that we kind of we were at the John Molson case competition. It's Canada's biggest case competition. It's got teams all over the world, etc. And it's like 5 days, 7, 8 cases. It's total madness. So the format is such that you don't have internet. It's just one slide deck that you have, and you got to edit it and keep doing the same format. So yes, so it's just that format. Now there were certain cases that we did, and there was one headline in that particular business case that said fearless. That was the final slide deck of that particular thing, where we were asking the executives to go fearless and go hit the market, everything. Cut to next case, which was more of a subtle, where we were asking them to take a moderate approach, but I forgot to remove the fearless from the slide deck because we were using the same slide deck. Uh, and when that slide came up, I saw the executives a little puzzled. There was Isel sitting there, and she looked at me as like, "Dude, what have you done?" And I looked at, I'm like, in my head, I was like, "Now, what do I do? What do I do?" And on the spot, there was a story that I made saying, "You know what? We have all this while asked you to take a conservative approach, but we know that that's not your DNA. So after these 3 years of implementing, we wanted to go fearless." And Subhashish, who was next to me, he kind of took that and continued on the whole narrative. And that kind of helped us score the highest points that we had in the competition. So I think storytelling is something that has helped me over case competition and currently helps me in my current job. And the second thing is working with absolute strangers. In work scenarios, in your teams, in MBAs, you're always put in groups with absolute strangers, probably for a longer period of time, shorter, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, group projects. It's important to strike the same wavelength in that short period and, get to the teamwork efficiently so that you have a good outcome. I think these are the two skills I would say transfer beyond consulting.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think, I hear this ability to be adaptive, the ability to be agile and flow with the moment, the storytelling, the ability to work with multiple people. And I also hear there is you have to understand and know yourself too, right? Like you have to be able to, when you're starting to work with new people, you have to know what is your communication style, how do you want to work and interact with other people? Because for some people, the chaos is, like Tiffany said, they steer away from it, and you're driven right towards it. And I would guess that it's because you know yourself really well, that you love that chaos, and you can kind of point yourself at it and have fun with it. So when we talk about chaos, there's nerves sometimes. So many people are nervous about putting themselves out there. What role does discomfort play in learning through case competitions, in your opinion?
Oh yeah, it plays a very big role because before we started preparing for the John Molson case competition, I always thought, throw anything at me and I can handle it. And then there was a case specific to an industry, which I hate talking about. And I'm not going to specify the industry because I will get a lot of hate if I do that. Uh, so, and I had no idea about what I was doing. And our coaches, Mauricio, Jim, Monita, Vern, they kind of saw it through. And for the next 4 weeks, they made sure that we only solved cases for that in a specific industry. And after week 2, I was like, bluffing is not going to help in this one. I have to know more about this specific industry, or I have to understand how to crack newer industries, not just this one. So I think you have to get a little uncomfortable, and to kind of push yourself to learn that one or two new skills or strategy in terms of how to get there.
I want to offer something that I think is really unique about you that you just said. And I know you to be, and you are self-proclaimed, a very talented winger. Paul and I often talk about, kind of winging stuff. And yes, there's expertise and knowledge behind it, but it certainly is a bit of winging. But when Paul talked about, needing to know yourself really well, that's part of what I've watched you grow in is I know I can wing it, but where should I not? Where is this not going to work and I need to do something different? And those are the areas where I need to take a different approach, which is what I heard. And what a way to learn that through discomfort. Mm-hmm.
Yes, like the
Is there a time you
terminology we
didn't do
have,
so
just
well?
wing it.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
the terminology we had about just wing it. But anyway, sorry, continue.
No. That's okay.
Yeah.
Paul mentioned MBA students loving competition, that it tends to be who's attracted to this type of degree. However, with competition often comes not doing so well. Not everyone can win. So have you not done so well in a case comp, and what'd you learn from it?
I think there have been multiple case competitions and external ones where we didn't even qualify for finals or anything of that sort. I think two important lessons that I learned from there. First, obviously, was like we were discussing, embracing the chaos. where it is going to be a lot of information that's going to be thrown at you in every business scenario, in MBA and case competitions. Again, it's not just specific to case competitions, but anything. Always in that specific scenario, I've noticed that clarity wins over complexity. If your solution is clear enough for your team, your executives, your leadership board to understand what it is, there are very high chances of it getting implementing and you seeing a result of that. And that's what because the judges eventually are executives, they are business people. So they always understand clarity. So yeah, I think that was my biggest learning, which I kind of still implement every day at my work.
That's cool. I'd love to hear. And I'll just summarize what I heard. It's this being clear, being concise, right? Rather than trying to have it be really complex and for you to feel like I'm the smartest person in the room because I have words that I not many people understand. But welcome to my life. I try to be as short and as just like simple as possible because people can understand and explain to other people what simple kind of meant to them, and I think that's a beautiful place to be, right? So I look at what are you doing now. So I'd love for you to share with the audience that we have, what are you doing right now, and maybe like how are these skills kind of helping you be as successful as you've been in the work that you're doing?
Sure. So my full-time job is with CIPC. I am a banker. I wouldn't. Well, it's slightly boring, but not so boring that I thought so. But the interesting and the fun part is that we're trying to build a business that's in this is a separate, I'm not part of CIBC, but we're trying to build a business which is into live entertainment, music distribution, and we've been doing a few things here and there. Um, the kind of skill or the lesson that I kind of learned from MBA and that helps me literally every day in my career is kind of connecting with people and understanding what strikes with them. Uh, I've always seen that human connection takes over being knowledgeable. So again, going back to one of the scenarios where in the case competitions where we did not have one of the best solutions, but we connected with the executives, the judges, etc., and we still score the points. So I think that one lesson which I still also implement where things here and the whole live entertainment business here is very rigid. It works on certain timelines. If you don't meet those timelines, it's impossible to get anything done from the venues because these are like government venues and all of that. But like speaking to the director of the venue nicely, striking a connection with them, kind of helps us go a long way and get things done quickly.
Hmm. I hear some really great learnings and applicability into perhaps an industry that you wouldn't think case competitions might support, which is really neat. I want to combine two questions. And what advice would you have both for yourself, if you had to go back to Suraj before any case competitions? What advice would you have given yourself, which I have to imagine is the same advice you would give to MBA students considering case competitions?
I honestly wouldn't change anything going back. Uh, the reason being, there were a lot of folks that gave me advice saying, hey, don't do this like this, do it like this. This is how consultants talk. This is how consultants present. And I was like, no, I am not a consultant. I am not going to change who I am. I am going to present it the way it comes natural to me. So my recommendation or my suggestion to the MBA students currently is going to be the natural you. There are certain guidelines that the case competition has to follow. Make sure you follow those guidelines. But overall, just be yourself because that's that's the biggest strength that you have. And like, don't listen to anyone who says this is wrong, do it this way. Just be yourself.
I love it. And if I could tack on one thing you said before, it was just give it a try. What's the worst that could happen? Right? Give it a
Yep.
try, be authentic, but give it a try. Cool.
Yep.
I think there's many more stories. I know you to be a very great storyteller, but we are at the time that we need to do a lightning round. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's do it. 3 quick questions, 3 gut answers. What is it about your career story that has given you the biggest boost?
I think case competitions.
Convenient. What is it that you wish you'd learned sooner?
Being a good person over a knowledgeable person any day.
And Paul and I are just always so focused on service. It's just part of who we are. So always curious to hear how it's going to show up for you this week.
Well, this month actually, with CIBC, we're doing a Run for the Cure. That's an initiative that helps support all Canadians impacted by breast cancer. So we're doing a bunch of things within the Alberta region and across Canada. So I think that's how my next month is looking like.
I love it. That's touched my life personally, for sure. Okay, Paul's random question. What do you got?
Suraj, thank you so much for joining us, and we get to learn just so much more about the people that come on our podcast, which is so cool. And I'd love to learn from you. So I think you were maybe a little modest around like the live entertainment that you have been bringing to the world. So I would love to hear from you. What is or where is the next place that you hope to kind of see just because of this kind of live entertainment side gig is what you called it. I don't know if it is a side gig or not, but it could be bigger than that. But where is the next place you hope to travel for that?
We're planning something in Rome, where we're taking one of the artists and picking up one of the iconic venues and doing a few things there. So I think that's where the next target is. Essentially, just talking about North America, the whole live entertainment space has been dominated by Live Nation. They literally have a monopoly there. So we're too small to try and break that, but it's one break at a time. We're trying to build a few things, build relationships to kind of help us get there eventually, probably in 10, 12 years. So either we make it as big as Live Nation or we get acquired by Live Nation, whatever comes first.
Both of those admirable goals. Both of those would be great. Oh, man. Suraj, you've been a joy to get to know over the last 2 years. I've been very lucky to be your coach, is my opinion. And I have watched you lean into chaos. Yes, you came with that. Yes, that was part of your brand before the MBA. However, through the MBA, I've watched you, I think, figure out that that's truly part of your superpower. Is the ability to very masterfully embrace the chaos and understand adaptability and problem solve and story tell and connect with the people first, right? People first before problems in business. It has been so fun watching you disrupt yourself. Like, I think you're a disruptor. You just talked about it. You're trying to one brick at a time sort of disrupt or be acquired by a monopoly, right? But I've also watched you disrupt yourself. And if more of us could figure out how to disrupt ourselves and figure out who we could become when we do that, we'd all be better for it. So thank you for modeling that. It's been my pleasure to watch it.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Yeah, and thank you the two of you all to kind of help us guide in every step of the MBA career. And I don't think I would have kind of uncovered so many things about me without your support, Tiffany. So yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. All right, key takeaways. I just, every time I've chatted with Suraj, we end up in so many unique places that I just never expected to end up. And so there's always so much that I can pull from our conversations. But his just whole brand theme around embrace the chaos. Like, oh my goodness, as humans, do we not want to organize, plan out, have a Gantt chart with every single step to figure out exactly how we're going to get wherever that... life doesn't work that way. And if we could just figure out how to embrace the chaos, I truly think we would be far better for it. And he has leaned into that. And has actually been rather inspirational for me even to watch. So how could you, broader you, in your own way, just find your next stretch level in embracing the chaos? Yeah.
Some experts might say is find the zone of proximal development and the space that you can use, and find the areas that you can kind of, embrace a little bit more chaos and see what happens, right?
Look at you go.
Well, we're learning as we go along.
The ZPD. Paul and I are now quoting the ZPD.
Awesome. For me, he started off with a really interesting kind of statement. He said the MBA really helped him slingshot, and then there was somebody that told him he needed to walk with swag. And I loved the fact that, I think confidence is... it's something that I personally struggle with, and I think that we need to be able to embrace that a little bit more. Whether that's being positive with who we are and just being comfortable with who we are, and when we come across those moments of uncomfort, just being able to say, I'll just do my best in this moment, and that will be confidence enough for me. And I think that's really wonderful, because I think the world of work needs people that are more confident and can go into things with humbleness, but with an ability to say, I can do this. So a little bit of swag. So I love that. I thought that was good.
Yeah, that'll stick with me too. All right, next week we are taking time management and aiming it at energy management kind of instead, and some boundaries. Interesting conversation. So we will chat about that next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Career Boosters podcast. We hope you had a blast. Yeah, we know that's corny. Catch you next time, and remember to subscribe wherever you enjoy podcasts.